Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. Today I'm going to be going over a Cypher guide for Split and just going over some trips, cams, and cages that you guys can make use of on this map. So obviously Cypher is really strong on Split, mainly just because he has really good trips and really good cameras as well on this map. So let's get started. We're going to start on defense here and we're going to go over some B setups that you can do. So starting with the B site, this trip here is pretty common. Most people know about this. You just put it on this trash can here and it goes across just like that. You can also just put a standard trip right here if you don't want people being able to lurk through B. If you guys didn't know, if you want to place a trip at the perfect head level, all you need to do is crouch down and then aim your trip to where the laser goes through your eyeballs just like this. Once it goes through your eyeballs, that's how you know this is the perfect trip height, and once you get used to it, you can start doing this pretty quick. Alright guys, moving on, here is another trip. This one goes on this little propane tank right here, and as you can see, you'll see a line where it goes across, just like that, and that's what the trip looks like right there. Another trip that you can do, especially paired with this one, is this one right here on the door frame. You just aim right here, and you will see the line to where it goes across and hits this wall right here, and as you can see, this kind of creates like a little cross, and this is great for you to play off of. You can put a cage here and spam off of these trips just like this. More trips that you can do deeper into sight is the one right here on this box that goes across. Again, you can spam off this trip with a cage. Alright guys, moving on to the cages. This is how you do the most basic one-way for B main. You just want to put yourself up against this box right here, look up, and then move to the right until you pretty much don't see any of the orange part of the wall, and then you aim at this top beam right here and you just throw your cage, and as you can see, that will end up right there. You can pop it to get a one-way, and you can peek with this one-way and they won't be able to see you, but you will be able to see their feet. So this one-way cage is very standard, and you can just pretty much default a cage here every round if you're playing B, and it's very strong. So really good one-way cage to do just to stall and also just to get free picks. Alright guys, moving on to the cams for B site. The first most basic cam is you just want to get on top of this box right here next to rafters and throw your cam right here on the roof. And with this cam, you'll be able to see into male, and you will also be able to see anybody's feet in B main, so you can just get information on male and B main. You can also do this cam right here on this front part of the pillar. If they start breaking your other cam, this one is also very hard to spot and is unexpected, and you can also still get information into B main with this cam. Moving on to B heaven. The most standard cam for B heaven is just the one on top of the doorway right here. So you just put your cam up here and you will be able to see anybody coming up into heaven. This is great if you don't have any trips on B heaven and you're soloing B side. You can put a cam here just to get information and have your trips on site to play off of. As for trips in B heaven, you can put the most standard one, which is the one right here, going across like this. This is the most standard trip that you can do. You can also do this trip right here, where you put it just like this, and it will go across. And you can also put a trip here on this part of the box, and it goes across. These trips are for your stairs player to fight with, because this will typically get smoked, and then your stairs player can spam off of these trips. Alright guys, moving on to the A site. If you want to trip ramps, you can just do the standard one here, just like this. Or you can wait till the barrier drops and do it a little bit deeper as well if you want. So these are your two options here. And then if you want to also make sure that they can't silent walk up ropes and then go into a heaven, you can also do the trip that goes across on this wall right here, just like this. So if you're soloing towards the A side and you don't want anybody to be able to lurk up vent on you, you can use this trip right here. Here's a nice little cam on ramp that you can use to get some sneaky information. So you put this cam right here, and then if you pop it, you can actually see people's heads as they cross. If they want to cross A main into sight, you'll be able to see them, and you can also see people crossing up into ramps. So if you're soloing A or you're playing retake A, like let's say you're playing screens, you can throw this cam just to get information for your team, for them to rotate over. Moving on to the actual A site itself, one of the most standard trips is just the one that goes across like this, right here. You can also do one on this corner of the flower pot that goes across just like that. And of course, there's a very standard trip here as well that you can use to fight with if you're playing back map like this. And then obviously there's just a ton of different trips that you can do off of the default pillar. You can do one here, you can do one here like this. Just really depends how you want to play the site. You can also do low trips if you want, just for kill trips for anyone flooding into site. So a lot of different variations for trips that you can do here. So yeah, just a bunch of different trips that you can do on A. You can also do one going across right here on this side of flower, just like that. So a lot of different options. And with the front ones, you can just place screens and spam off of these. Here's a nice cage you can do if you're fighting back left here. All you need to do is find this little gap, like in between right here, and then just throw your cage into it. And as you can see, your cage will get stuck there. And if they're flooding out into sight, you can pop this cage and use it sort of as like a one-way to fight with, as you can see. As for cams on A to get info, you can do, this is a very standard cam right here to spot the cross. It's very hard to spot. It is breakable now, but it's very hard for them to actually see through this glass. So you can get information on them spotting. Another cam to get early information. Once they know about this, they'll probably start pre-aiming it. So that's the only downside to this cam. But all you need to do is go heaven here and jump up and place it right here on this wall. And as you can see, we can see pretty much all of the stairs right here in A main. So you can see anybody that's in A main, even like deep on the flower pot. So this is really good for getting early information. But like I said, once it gets spotted, they'll probably start looking for it. So finally, another cam I like to do is on this pillar right here. You just put it right here on heaven. And as you can see, you can spot the whole cross for A main. And it's pretty hard to spot. So this is a nice cam to do as well, just to switch it up. Alright guys, and finally I'm going to show you the 2 lurk cages that you can do on attack. So these cages are really good just to put pressure on the enemy team because they don't know whether or not you can cross into ramps or not. So the first one's going to be for the A main cross, and then the second one's going to be for the ramp. So all you need to do is go on this box right here and then put yourself all the way against this wall in the corner. For the first cage, we're going to aim in between these 2 light bulbs, and we're just going to throw our cage. And then for the second one, we're going to aim right here on this building, and we're going to do a jump throw. Just like that. And as you can see, the first cage will land here, and you can use it to block off the cross so that they don't know if you're crossing or not. And then the second cage, if you pop it, will block off ramps. So you can pretty much use these cages to apply pressure on the map and just to get some map control. And that's pretty much it, guys. That was my Cypher guide for Split. I hope this video helps you out. If you learned something, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.